Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, Mzansi Daily Update, your go-to spot for everything political in Mzansi. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more updates, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Today, we dive deep into a story that is shaking the very foundations of South Africa's political and legal landscape, the explosive war of words between Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana and the Democratic Alliance over the national budget. The drama unfolded this week in Cape Town, where legal papers filed in court revealed the finance minister's fury at what he calls deliberate political posturing by the DA. At the center of the storm, allegations that the government's fiscal policies, including how the national budget is allocated and executed, are in violation of the Constitution. But let's unpack what's really going on here. The DA has dragged the matter into court, accusing the Finance Ministry of bypassing key parliamentary oversight mechanisms. According to the DA, several budgetary decisions were made without the appropriate constitutional processes, meaning the executive, and specifically, the finance minister, overstepped its legal authority. Their goal? To have the court intervene and rule that the recent budget allocations are unconstitutional. But Enoch Godongwana is not taking this lying down. In his scathing rebuttal, Godongwana slammed the DA for what he called a misuse of the judiciary. According to him, this is not about constitutional principles, it's about politics, plain and simple. He claims the DA is using the courts not to protect democracy, but to score cheap political points, especially with elections around the corner and tensions within the government of national unity heating up. In his words, and I quote, "The DA's claims are not only legally flawed but also politically motivated. They are attempting to manufacture a sense of constitutional emergency where none exists." He further warned that the DA's tactics could erode public trust in the judiciary and blur the line between legitimate legal action and political grandstanding. Now, this raises serious questions about the balance of power in our democracy. Who truly holds the reins when it comes to fiscal policy? Should the courts get involved in decisions traditionally left to Parliament and the executive? And is the DA genuinely concerned about the Constitution, or is this part of a broader strategy to undermine the ANC-led GNU? These aren't just theoretical questions. This legal battle could set a precedent with long-term consequences for how our democracy functions. Constitutional experts are weighing in, and their opinions vary. Professor Lindayo Malango from UCT put it best when she said, "This case is likely to test the boundaries of judicial intervention in fiscal policy." If the court rules in favor of the DA, it could redefine parliamentary oversight and the scope of executive financial authority. That means the outcome could shift the balance between the executive and legislative branches, maybe permanently. Let's also remember what's happening in the background. South Africa is facing a full-blown economic crisis, rising debt, stagnant growth, and deepening service delivery failures. The public is increasingly frustrated with how government funds are being spent, or wasted. So the DA's challenge, whether sincere or not, taps into a very real and growing discontent. But here's where it gets even more controversial. There are murmurs that this isn't just about budgetary procedures, it's about controlling the narrative ahead of the elections. The DA has been positioning itself as the party of constitutional guardianship, presenting itself as a bulwark against ANC mismanagement. This legal challenge gives them a platform to reinforce that image, even if the courts ultimately rule against them. On the flip side, some ANC insiders are reportedly furious, believing the DA is weaponizing the judiciary to push for a political advantage. They argue that the GNU was supposed to usher in a new era of cooperation, but the DA's actions are undermining that fragile unity. Remember, Godongwana himself has been at the center of several economic reform plans, some of which were designed to appease coalition partners like the DA. Now, even those efforts are under attack. And it's not just about the DA and the ANC. This case could ripple out to affect other parties in the GNU, including the IFP and FF+, who've also been critical of recent budget decisions. Some believe this is the beginning of a broader realignment in South African politics, where old alliances break down, and new coalitions emerge in a volatile post-Zuma, post-pandemic political era. So what happens next? The court proceedings are ongoing, and all eyes are on the judiciary. Will the courts rule that the finance minister acted within the bounds of the law? Or will they find that the DA's concerns have merit and demand a restructuring of fiscal procedures? Either way, the stakes are high. A ruling in favor of the DA could open the door for more legal challenges to executive decisions, potentially paralyzing government operations. A ruling in favor of the minister could further alienate opposition voices and deepen public mistrust. This isn't just a legal fight, it's a battle for the soul of South African governance. It's about whether we're heading towards a stronger, more accountable democracy or sliding into a state where political warfare is disguised as constitutional concern. And for ordinary South Africans watching from the sidelines, people struggling with load shedding, poor service delivery, and rising food prices, the bigger question is, will any of this actually improve their lives? Or is it just another round of elite political theater while the real issues go unaddressed? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Is the DA genuinely fighting for constitutional accountability, or is this just a clever political move? And do you think the courts should intervene in fiscal decisions, or leave it to Parliament? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into the stories that matter most in South African politics. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you next time.